Julian Luk reports on the darkening skies over Hong Kong's economy.
Causeway Bay is one of the busiest shopping areas for mainland tourists, but many shops are closed despite this being peak Golden Week holiday. October 1st is China's National Day and a major tourist event in Hong Kong. Last year, more than 1 million mainlanders crossed the border during the week-long holiday. It's a different story this year. Protesters, not holidaymakers, crowd the streets. They are angry at China for refusing to allow Hong Kong citizens to freely elect their leader. They are demanding the territory's top administrator step down.
Unless we speak out and put pressure on the government, they won't address our concerns.
The protests may hurt retail sales, but the cost is insignificant if we want to fight for fair elections and true democracy.
Mainland tourists, who make up 75% of visitor arrivals, are puzzled by the turmoil. Normally, this bus station would be filled with people traveling to and from the mainland. Drivers told us passengers had been calling to cancel reservations.
Some passengers know about the protest. They are afraid of what's going on, and there's been less people crossing the border.
And tourism is not the only industry feeling the impact. Disruptions are rippling through the financial sector. Several banks along Kowloon's busiest street shut their doors. This notice says business is suspended because of a road blockage. Officials said 33 bank branches closed on Tuesday, 2 days after the demonstrations erupted. The tumult has also hit the Hong Kong stock market. Investors started selling last Thursday, even before the protest started. By the end of this week, the Hang Seng Index was down 4%. Hong Kong's top government official says he fears for the future.
This Occupy Central movement could last for some time. And as it continues, it will have a major impact, not only on the economy, but also on our development and international image.
Market watchers warn political strife could further erode Hong Kong's role in the Chinese economy.
International society cannot find similarly sophisticated society like Hong Kong in mainland China, especially after this kind of very decent protest is denied by the Chinese government. So, it is true that the series of protests show the fragile relationship between Hong Kong and mainland China in terms of political stability. I think the Hong Kong's economy among China will be decreasing. The GDP of the Hong Kong among the China as of the 1997 was the 59%, but right now dropped to the 2.6%. So that's one reason why the Chinese government doesn't pay less attention to the Chinese Hong Kong economy.
Even so, analysts at credit rating agency Fitch Ratings say the protests are unlikely to have a serious effect on Hong Kong's financial stability.
For the time being, the case remains that it's difficult for me to see how the protests in their current form materially affect Hong Kong's economic future or financial stability. And for that reason, so far they aren't news, as it were, for the credit ratings. I think that obviously at the moment there's a great deal of focus and interest on the protests. However, we should bear in mind as well on the other side of the balance sheet that Hong Kong remains the window into China, and that's likely to remain the case as long as the capital controls are in place in the mainland. So there's a significant plus factor for Hong Kong there.
With protesters showing no signs of backing down, no one knows how long this political standoff will last. What does seem clear is that the longer the demonstrations continue, the more uncertainty it creates for Hong Kong's reputation as international investment destination. Julian Luk, NHK World, Hong Kong.